Let's try that again. Oh my gosh. I'm like actually praying for her downfall. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sidise and today I am doing a 24-hour readathon. But first we're gonna go into Barnes & Nobles and get a bunch of books. Let's try that again. Oh my gosh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 books. I would say it was a success. I got 5 books and I'll make sure to do a haul when I get home. Hello everyone. As you saw, I went to Barnes & Nobles. So here's a haul. If I sound crazy, it's because it's almost 4 a.m. in the morning and I am already exhausted. So excuse me, please. First, I got The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. I've heard incredible things about this. I believe it's a realistic fiction book that's more contemporary with a side of great romance, and who does not love that? I also picked up People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I read Beach Read by her a few years back and I loved it, and the synopsis of this one is more intriguing. My next book is by an author that has been picking up a lot of traction lately for all of her books really, and this will be my first from her, and it is Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. I'm excited to read a book in which I know I'll probably hate the main character. However, I know that whatever journey R.F. Kuang wants to take me on, I'm down for the ride. I don't think it's a readathon without some sort of thriller, so I picked up The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden. This is also my first book by her, but the synopsis just had me sucked in, so why not pick it up? I also made sure to get myself a fantasy, and the book that I got is The Divine Rivals. First off, I love this cover. It is so beautiful. But this is a fantasy book with a side of romance, and that just sounds perfect. Apparently the guy in this book is also like a yearner, and who doesn't love a good old yearner? Although I picked up those 5 new books, there are 3 that I've been recently wanting to read on my bookshelf, and the first is The House in the Cerulean Sea. I'm pretty sure this is also fantasy. I got this from Half Price Books like a few months ago. The next is Sunrise on the Reaping. I know this came out a while ago. I just never got to it. I bought it about a month late, and then after that I just started reading different things. This is the book that I probably want to get through the most. And the final book from my bookshelf that I want to read is 5 Survive. I did not know I have this book until my sister was telling me, and I'm like, I don't have a book like that, until she went to my bookshelf and picked it up and showed me. Yeah, this is by Holly Jackson, who also wrote A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and that is one of my favorite series ever. I still don't know how I had no idea I have this book, but I will most definitely be reading it in this readathon. My goal for today is to finish 5 books, and I think I've decided on the 5. First is Sunrise on the Reaping. Then I want to get through 5 Survive, Yellowface, The Boyfriend, and finally The Divine Rivals. I think the blend of genres will have me motivated enough to read for the full 24 hours. Now, just to preface, I am already starting this on only a few hours of sleep, so I will be allowing myself like a 3-hour nap whenever I feel like I need it. But other than that, my whole thing today is just reading as much as possible. I'm starting at 4 a.m. so I'm finishing at 4 a.m. tomorrow morning. So let's get started. I am now officially 2 hours into this readathon, and I am on page 100, I believe, of Sunrise on the Reaping. This one is about Haymitch's game, and it's really cool reading about the characters that we see in the Hunger Games, and they're even involved in Haymitch's Hunger Games, and the difference is crazy, which really just shows how much the capital like changes you over time. All right, time for an update. It is now 8:03. Had to drop my sister off for her volleyball practice, so I went to Caribou and got a matcha. Almost halfway into the book, and I am definitely liking it so far. 100% the worst part about reading any Hunger Games book ever is growing attached to any character, because like there's a 95% chance they're gonna die, and especially in Haymitch's story, he is the sole survivor. I'll be back once I finish this, and hopefully that'll be soon. Guys, I just finished Sunrise on the Reaping. Why was this so good and literally so sad? One of my favorite things about reading anything by Suzanne Collins is her writing. It is always so perfect. She describes everything. Her imagery is amazing. Her characters are written so well. Their dynamics, dialogue is perfect, and this book is no exception. The ending literally ripped my heart out. I don't know why I thought this book would be an exception. It literally is The Hunger Games. But I think after rewatching the Hunger Games trilogy, I had hope, because that book is all about, you know, the Mockingjay and the sign of hope, and that there is usually a light at the end of the tunnel. But with this book, there was no light at the end of the tunnel. But actually, there is. It does that, because there's an epilogue. After reading the Hunger Games and now this though, I can honestly say that Plutarch Heavensbee is still like the most mysterious character to have ever existed. He is insane, and now I want a book about his life. Like, Suzanne Collins, please, 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 please give us a book on Plutarch Heavensbee, because he's like the most genius, mysterious, nonchalant character ever, and I need a book describing everything about him, like tomorrow. Get on it. Now that I am done with my first read though, I'm going to start 5 Survive by Holly Jackson. It is now 1 p.m., which means we are 9 hours into the readathon, and I'm currently reading 5 Survive. I will say though, around 12:30, I nearly passed out. I was like, okay, I'll lay in bed for 5 minutes, and then 5 minutes turned into 15 minutes, and then I was about to probably take a nap. Yeah, let me get up. So I got up, and luckily, just as I got back into my book, it's starting to get super interesting. I'm on page 111. The story follows Red, and she is going on vacation with her best friend's brother, his girlfriend, her friend from high school, and then their other friend from a different high school. They're driving down in an RV, and things just start going wrong. A tire pops, and they're like, okay, it's fine, we can change it. And then suddenly all 4 tires pop. Soon they realize that someone is watching them, and a hikey trying to kill them. Guys, I am back for an update. I went to go pick my sister back up from volleyball, and then me and my family just went to Raising Cane's and we got food. And as we were eating, obviously I'm reading 5 Survive right now, and my sister actually read this a few months ago. So she read it first, and we were just talking, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, this one character annoys the life out of me. I really like this one character. And she's like, okay, just like guess who you think it's gonna be. And now I'm in the final 20 pages, and I was right. That is very much a subtle flex for me, because I can never guess what happens in books, especially mysteries. Like, I'm always lost. It doesn't matter what happens, I'm almost 100% of the time shocked. But this time I figured out who it is. I didn't quite figure out like the whole story and the plot twist, but my guess was correct. It is now 4:17, my halfway mark, and I just finished 5 Survive. I just have to say, Holly Jackson is the queen. of having a standout last chapter. She does this in A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and if you guys know, the last chapter is just so special. It's near and dear to my heart. I literally have like a picture of it on my wall. What Ravi says is so sweet, and there's not a lot of romance in this book, but there's a little bit, and what she does with it at the end, I love. What makes this book not live up to its potential is that it doesn't really drop hints from the beginning. There's like small things here and there, but you're kind of just following the story. Halfway through, I finished 2 books. I'm moving a little slower than I wish I was. Maybe in the final 12 hours, I'll be speeding up. Now I'll be starting Yellowface. Hopefully this doesn't slow me down. I'm also trying to think of if I want to read outside or stay in my room. What is up, guys? I ended up falling asleep just after talking about being tired and going outside, which I didn't do. I'm on page 40 of Yellowface right now, so the book really is just beginning. This book is about June, who is a writer. After Athena passes, though, June finds a book that she's been writing, and instead of just leaving it as is, June ends up taking it and claiming it as her work after only making a few minor edits. Right now, though, I'm just gonna continue Yellowface. I'm on page 62, and why is June changing her last name to appeal more to the story? Like, what in the holy cultural appropriation? Like, actually praying for her downfall. Bruh. I'm on page 215 of this book. June, the main character, is so insufferable. She's so insufferable that you just want to keep reading the book, but she says so many racist things, microaggressions, stereotypes. The funny thing is she'll defend herself, and everything she says just makes it worse. I thought that R.F. Kuang's writing would be different, but I'm really enjoying this. It's super easy to read. I like how it's so conversational. It's not really hard to understand. 100 pages left to go in this, and I can't wait to finish. It is now 1:40, almost 2 o'clock, meaning I'm almost in the final 2 hours of my 24-hour readathon. I will say though, after my 2.5-hour nap, I felt so much better. I was reading so much faster. So the next time I do one of these, which I'm thinking maybe another one this summer, I'll definitely make sure to sleep for like 10 hours beforehand so I don't get tired, because I'm probably only going to finish 3 or 4 books in this readathon, but I feel like I could have finished 5 potentially. I'm now reading The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden. I am on page 90, and this book is so good so far. It starts off immediately and it's super interesting. We have 2 perspectives from the main character of Sydney. We're also reading from the perspective of Tom in the past tense. So we don't really know who Tom is yet, but he'll definitely probably play into Sydney's story. This book had me sucked in from the beginning. This is the prologue, literally page 2. It says, "What I am most scared of is that if I lean in to kiss Daisy, she will let me do it. I'm scared that she will agree to be my girlfriend. I'm scared that she will allow me into her bedroom when her parents aren't home so we can finally be alone together. And I'm terrified that the moment I get her alone, I will wrap my fingers around her pretty white neck and squeeze the life out of her." Yeah. Okay guys, it is the next day and I officially finished my 24-hour readathon at 4 a.m. yesterday. Here is everything that I finished. I finished Sunrise on the Reaping, then I completed 5 Survive. After that was Yellowface, and my final read was The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden. I didn't finish this in the 24 hours, but I had like 20 pages left, so I'm gonna count it, and I stayed up and finished it and then went to sleep. Overall thoughts are that I made the biggest mistake and started the readathon with only 4 hours of sleep. And so especially in the time where I finished the first 2 books, I was super slow. It took me, I think, almost 6 hours to finish Sunrise on the Reaping. And if I had maybe finished it in like 4.5, I could have gone to at least 1 more book, I think. This book was absolutely fantabulous. Suzanne Collins is just, she's amazing. Everything she writes is great. Even if you haven't read the rest of the Hunger Games series, any of the like other 4, I think, books that she's made in this series, you'd be able to understand everything because the way she writes is that perfect. Like, it is perfect. It had me crying at the end. Hey Mitch, I love you. I don't know what else to tell you. If I lived in the Hunger Games universe, I would personally be done for. Like, just take me out. Just take me out. I would not be able to do it. I'll give this 4.25. It's really, really good. The beginning was a tiny bit slow, and then the ending just kind of happens quickly. I would recommend anyone read this. Moving on to 5 Survive, this book, I feel iffy about it. I really love mystery thrillers. Unfortunately though, I ended up not liking this book as much. The main character, I didn't care for her. I don't want to give away any spoilers, but I didn't like this main character. She would tell us something, and then in like the next 2 chapters it would change, and I would rather appreciate it if our main character was being more truthful with us. It's not a thing where the author's choosing to have an unreliable narrator. It's not really a book in which you can like make an informed guess. It's just the story evolving, and if I'm reading a mystery, I want to at least be able to try and guess what's happening. I don't want to give Holly Jackson anything less than a 3. I'll do a 2.75. I'll give this book a 2.75. Moving on to my literary fiction book, my realistic fiction book, Yellowface. As I said, this main character is absolutely insufferable. She is crazy. She steals the book of her rival ex-friend, and she publishes it as her own. The main character, June, is white, and the person whose book she steals, Athena, is Asian. And so it's a white woman taking and stealing the story of an Asian woman and her heritage, because Athena is Chinese and June is not. She's not. I think I'm gonna give this one a 4-star. I just am not the biggest literary fiction fan, but I think if I was, this would have easily been a 5-star. My final read is The Boyfriend by Frida McFadden. This book is like scary. It's frightening. The way that the people who die in this book die is absolutely terrifying, but Frida McFadden somehow made me laugh a lot. Her writing, I really love it. Her pacing, in my opinion, was amazing. I know a lot of people have, you know, little things with Frida's books, but I really, really like this. I never at any moment felt that this is happening for too long or this is happening for too short. I've heard that some people say the ending happens too fast. For me, I think it happens perfectly. Just when you think you understand what the plot twist is, what the whole mystery is, like the whodunit, you will never guess. So I think I'm gonna give this book a 4.25. In conclusion, I finished these 4 books in my readathon, and I'm so glad that I was able to do this because I really do feel like it got me out of my reading slump, and I'm just plotting and thinking about what books I want to start this afternoon. So thank you all for being here, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next video.